Let's go.
One thing that like I wanted to get like my own apartment.
Yeah.
And like realistically, I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit full of shit. But I'm not living in a place where my kitchen and my bedroom and everything is like one.
Studio.
Yeah, like a studio apartment. I don't know, I just like my room separate. That's just something I prefer. And I mean, it got expensive. Like it got like I was looking at least 600 euros if I wanted the minimum what I wanted, close to, you know. And then this place popped up, and I was like, that's a steal. In my personal opinion, for what we are getting.
How long have you been there?
This is now our first, 5 months, 4 or 5 months. Yeah, it's our first time renting it out.
So I found when I first came over, I was at just Kirai again, living on Kirai. It's two bed house. Like one room was a small room, but I was paying what $220 a month. That's like foreign, 220k foreign per month for bills and everything, and that's 2 beds. So I mean,
That's good.
it was good. It wasn't like a very modern apartment, but it did what it did. It was right in the city centre, and it had what it needed to have. I did have my bedroom was actually quite good because there was a mezzanine where the bed was, and then there was another guest beds underneath. So I could literally I had a big living room, so I had like 3 or 4 spaces for people to sleep in there. So
Class.
it was good, but yeah. And then I think like COVID happened. I stayed there for another year, and I said to the guy, look, give it to me for 180 all in, and I'll stay. If not, I'll find somewhere else to stay. And the landlord was like, yeah, fine, stay.
Oh, legend. I thought like normally they say like,
Mate,
either they cut it like the same as last year, or like they raise it up by like 10%.
this is COVID though, so I flexed my way. Like I knew basically the market was fucked because no one was coming in. Like no more like tourists, students. Nothing was coming into the country. So like for him to find another long-term 1-year tenant during COVID. Yeah, it was hard.
Was just
so
taking
he was,
everything.
So I kind of maybe took advantage of that fact, but like, you got to play the game that you're playing, but it was good, man. But then I moved out, and the flat that I bought now, where I'm living with Rowan, I mean, the rent, the monthly mortgage on that, I won't say what it is, but it's affordable. But again, it's not the biggest of flats. It's like 63. I don't know if you've been around it whenever we drove, but 63 square meters or whatever. But it's like 50 meters from the hive.
Oh, class.
yeah. So opposite where Joe lives and that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've been to their apartment like once, I think, when they just moved in.
Yeah.
Actually, well, there's probably their story to tell, but when they moved in, they used to be like a Russian owner or something. And like they say they moved in and there was like this big, I don't know, flag or propaganda or like Russian thing like hanged up in the house. And like the first thing they did, they just rolled it up and took it out, shipped it off somewhere. But yeah.
No, I did, man. Like there was like a couple of streets parallel to where, the one that you go up past Kulevesh. Do you know Kulevesh? So Joe's is here, and there's the road that goes up, and the road that goes down towards like Simper and that. The street over, running parallel to like Kishu's End, another good pub, another good bar in District 7. There's this mural about Putin and that riding this horse. I think he's actually painted as a senator. So there's the Putin.
The Time magazine thing.
I
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And like honestly, I love District 7. It's really
It's class. I also wanted to hear. So you were in Budapest before COVID happened, and then after COVID, you're still here now.
Yeah.
Like, how's the city like beforehand compared to that? Because I came here like end stages of COVID, 2020, and like start 2020, I first moved in here, and it was, you know, it was quiet city.
It was like, it definitely wasn't quiet, and like maybe the last 6 or 8 months, whatever year, 2 years, it has been what it was like before. I think, you know, when I first got here, it was all a bit of a blur. I just got into the job and I met this Hungarian girl on the plane coming over. So I was dating her for about 8-9 months and just getting drunk a lot, you know. So we were out in the towns and like, I don't know, it's like in the UK when I was working in the UK, I wouldn't necessarily drink much during the week, but we'd go out and we'd get smashed, and there was always that vibe, like we loved Grund, was always in Grund like once, twice a week. But yeah, so then when COVID happened, it changed a big time, like it changed big time.
Because Budapest has that, like, every time I fly back from South Africa and land here, it's like a cloud that comes over, but not a bad cloud, it's just like, I don't know, Budapest has a vibe on it.
Yeah.
You just want to sort of, the odds of you going out in the week is like, it's like flipping a coin, it's like 50-50.
I try and manage it more now because like I can't just get smashed all the time. But I think what you're saying, that vibe about Budapest is so amazing. The number of people that I know that have come here and they've come here and I'll be here for 1 or 2 years, and then they end up being here for like 10 or 15 years. It is such a cool vibe, the city, and it's very kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, like that cloud and that energy you get from coming back, I love it, man, and I don't think I'll be going anywhere.
I also enjoy Budapest a lot. It's like, I don't know, it's a very underrated city in my opinion. Like, people like, you can always give shit about like Hungary, this and that, foreign and all this stuff, and but like the city itself, if you walk around like down the river, you know, down the Danube, and you see like Buda Castle, Fisherman's Bastion, Bielefeld, even the Parliament, like if you just walk down there like on a sunny day, because most of the time in Hungary it's sunny, it's like you can't think of a better city.
But they call it the Pearl of the Danube, don't they? Of how like, beautiful it is. And like my favourite spot in the city is on Margaret Bridge. When it's dark though, because when you're at Margaret Bridge, you're looking down the Danube, and you got like the Parliament, and then you got the castle and Gather Hill, and it's all lit up. It's just stunning. It's so stunning, and like, man, it's a cool place to live, man.
Yeah. And like the tourists come here just to party.
Yeah,
like, that's the thing. They just flood into the 7th district and it's just party.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much, like, you know, on your socials and that, I see this this video of some Hungarian dudes, and like I get a bit of a rep because of my accent, okay? So like the Hungarians, I don't think they necessarily appreciate the English. And then when we come, like, you know what the English are like, very loud.
And they come here with stag parties.
Yeah, very drunk, and like, you know, the thing, and like anyway, about the guy on the socials, he's made this video about, I hate all tourists, or I love Palinka, I hate the English, taking over the city, but I hate tourists. And I'm like, I feel so connected to the city now that I also hate the tourists. Mostly also the English ones, because they are like, I wake up, because like I said, where I live, 50 metres from Hive, 9 times out of 10, if I come out on a Sunday morning, there's a patch of puke by where my gate opens onto the street. So you have to like always just step over it. It's a bit frustrating, but it's cleaned away.
But that's like the party central, literally. That's where like Hive is. The amount of times I didn't want to go to Hive and end up going to Hive, like uncountable. Like it just happens. It's just
I don't know if anyone else has ever managed to achieve what I have when going to the Hive, but I got there once with my mate Louis, who we were talking about earlier, and essentially the bouncer told me I was too drunk to come in. So I was like, yes, I could go home, because I was steaming, and you know, and I was just like, I just went home and it was great. But I tend to avoid the Hive, like.
And like sometimes it gets to like, it gets repetitive because somehow every weekend you don't plan it, but it just happens sort of. It's just like, I don't know. You finish drinks somewhere at one other bar, had a good time, the night can't end right now.
Yeah.
You need to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then the first thing that pops up in someone's mind is, hive? It's like a whisper. And it just spreads everywhere. And everyone just ends up going there.
I think, like, again, growing up, we'd go out and we'd go maybe to the pubs, but like 7, 8 o'clock though. And then we'd get into the nightclubs maybe 11, 12, and they would shut at 3 or 4. So this shift in culture for me of like going partying till 6 a.m, I wouldn't be able to do that. I can't do it. If I'm still out by 4, I'm either not able to walk or talk, or I'm incapacitated, because like that's just the cultural thing. In the UK, you finish work, you go to the pub. You know that, and the pub from 5, and the pub will shut at 11. And then if you want to then go to a club, that's when you go to a club. It'll only be open till 3. And that's just.
And then even like in South Africa, like our culture is also not this European. Well, UK is probably still Europe, but this European culture of going to the club 1 a.m, maybe 12 is maybe still early. Like South Africans love day drinking.
We
love day drinking. When the sun's out,
yeah.
when the sun's out, you like 3 p.m, 4 p.m. Hey boys, what are you doing? Nothing productive. And then
like, it's funny you bring that up, because the other week I went. It was one of my other colleagues' birthdays, Harry, and I'd been speaking to Joe about the bottomless brunch.
Oh, they bottomless mimosas at Rugby. Oh yes.
So me and my mates went and did that, and like I mean, we were there from like midday, and then I think I left the Davies at 5. I don't really like. Newcastle played Chelsea that day, and I'm a big Newcastle fan. They won 4-1. Don't remember shit. Don't remember the game. I remember being
the next day you checked the highlights.
Yeah, no, I had to, man. But that room brew is a good fun, man. Good fun.
And how do you feel about the whole Newcastle dropping out of?
It's like
Europa League.
No, they're out of both.
Champions League. Yeah.
So if they were able to hold on to their draw last night, they would have been in the Europa League or dropped down into it. But no, it's.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I'm the biggest Newcastle supporter since they got signed, bought over by the Saudis.
I mean, listen, and that's what we want. That's why we want the fans. We'll take your money and we'll put it back into the Saudi government. I mean, listen, I do feel we're conflicted about it. You know, like all the politics around Saudi Arabia is obviously. I'm not fully aware of what the situation is, but at the same time you hear stuff through the media, but also I'm just happy that Newcastle are now actually competing again. I mean, I've followed Newcastle since 92, 93 was the first season, so I was 7 or 8.
Okay, yeah, that's lifelong supporter, like,
so
yeah. You can't compare to my 2 years supporter.
When you told me the other night when we were at the Christmas drinks and it was the Newcastle Man United game on it. Yeah. You were sat with Fernando, and Fernando was like Nathan, Newcastle supporters. Like, yeah, all right, Nathan, sure. But it's, I mean, yeah.
You know, the thing is, I don't watch football. Because we don't even call it football. It's called soccer.
Yeah.
We call it soccer, so it's like not part of my culture. Like rugby, yes, I support Stormers since I was a kid. Like that's just how it is.
They lost it there at the weekend.
It's part of it, I guess. You win some, you lose some.
But no, and this whole football thing, right? I played football since I was maybe like 3, and then I played for my school. I played for a club. So I was probably like 13, 14. When I was at school, we played football, rugby, hockey, cricket, and it depends. So like, I mean, I love football, and being English, man, you've got to love football. I mean, you don't have to, but like, a lot of people do love football, and it's something that you can bond over and get involved in. And like, there's so many major football tournaments. It's always something to talk about or argue about. It's good fun. But.
Yeah. And when did you start playing rugby?
So I mean, I remember when I was really little, so maybe like 7. My dad took me to the local team on the Isle of Wight. I hated it. So I just started with football, but then I changed schools. About 9 or 10, and then I started playing rugby at the school, and slowly just got more used to it, got more involved. Started actually becoming alright, started improving, started enjoying it. By the time I was 15, I was playing both school team on Saturday, club team on Sunday, was training maybe 4 or 5 times a week, moving like where I'm from, the Isle of Wight, I keep saying, but I was playing on the mainland. So like,
where's the Isle of Wight? So you grew up on an island, not on UK, like the big...
Yeah. So it's maybe like, I don't know, I don't want to say a distance, but it's maybe like, you could...
What is the travel with
3-4
boats?
miles, yeah, like boats, maybe a car ferry, like 40 minutes.
Okay, that's not that
It's not far,
Yeah,
it's not far. And like, it's just a small island, there's like 125,000 people in there. But it's such a beautiful place, man. And like,
Nice.
you know, the joke is, you know, come from the Isle of Wight, you've got to be inbred, and you've got 12 toes and what have you, you know, so. But yeah.
Is that the stigma behind the Isle of Wight?
I mean, I'll show you later, I'll show you my toes later.
Do you have 12 toes?
No,
just joking.
yeah, no.
Oh, shit. I guess so you started playing like rugby like 9, 10, and then you just carried on from that and like mixed football, soccer.
Well, I stopped playing football when I was like 14. I wasn't progressing, I wasn't playing as much as I wanted to for the club. My rugby, like I said, I was getting good at rugby, and I got asked to join the team on the Isle of Wight. And I do it like I was catching school sides and this, but then I went to this club called Petersfield. It was so under 15. I played for Petersfield through under 15s through to under 18s, and like we had a very good team, man. Like we didn't always look like much, but we were very competitive. We were playing a year above ourselves when we got to I think it was the quarter or semi-finals of the National Colts Cup. Now we were playing. I played with in that side some players that became professional.
Oh,
I played
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like this guy Charlie Ainsbury, very very good player. But yeah, it was funny because we were basically a bunch of farmers, and we weren't massive. It was like our pack of the Exiles. The pack was never massive. It was mobile.
Yeah,
and we
compared to like the Hungarian teams that we play against, like we play against a bunch of semi-obese, almost these big guys, these big like sometimes I wonder, why do I need to tackle this guy? This is just huge block of man.
It's difficult, right? Because you know where I work with the national team as well. Like, you know, that's what the forwards is what they're used to, and I think, and like the rugby is still developing, and you look at some of the better players that are forwards, or you know, that's where the majority of their good players are in Hungary. But also, I don't know, it kind of feel because it's not the first, second, or third sport in the country that the athletes.
Yeah, it's not even like what it's rugby is nowhere.
Yeah, but the athletes will go to other sports first.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's getting better. The league's definitely getting better. So, I mean, when I first came or joined the Exiles, I played the season. I think it's the season before you joined, and we finished 3rd. And then the season you joined, I think we finished 4th. And then last year we finished 3rd. So,
yes.
But the league, like Szeged had come from like they'd never won the league before. They won it 2 years ago. Honflock as well. really improving. So
What is that? Is it Esztergom?
Esztergom.
Esztergom that has the really good culture for rugby in Hungary or something
I mean,
like that.
you know, they're I don't know if I can say they're lucky, but they have the facilities that.
Oh, they have the nicest.
Yeah.
Because like we played a away game there, and they have like the big basilica.
Yeah.
I guess it's the basilica with the big
Yeah,
dome
yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that. You have this beautiful view
Yeah.
on it of the pitch. It's like nice facilities, all like that. So like, I can understand why a small town in Hungary would be attracted to rugby if you have facilities
all those
like
facilities they own.
Yeah.
Right? And then they have the hostel there as well, rugby hostel. So honestly, they host a lot of touring teams there. They just stay on the site where the pitch is. You've got rooms, you stay, you drink, you play, you party. It's a perfect setup, and like, you know,
perfect casual rugby setup. Class.
Yeah, they're also, but like, they're historically a very good side as well, man. And for us, we're like talking with my Exiles hat on, like, they're the team to beat. You know, like that's who we have to aspire to win, to win the championship. You know.
Yeah, we have a really big international crowd, if I can say it like that.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. That, I mean,
we just new players just keep on coming in. New players come in. It's never just solid. It's never 15. This is us.
So this year, like, I think it's the best continuity we've had between the two sides. Like last year and this year, I mean, I've coached the Exiles. This is my 3rd season. And the continuity now that we have, I think maybe we've lost 2 or 3 players maximum from the team that started in the bronze medal match last summer against Bata to now.
That's not. How do you do the transition from being a player for the Exiles into becoming the coach for the Exiles? Was it like active decision, or did the role open up, or like? Yeah,
the role is the second, or the latter. So the role opened up, and I just got offered the position, and I was like, I was like what I am. Like I said I'll do it on the provision that this and this happens. I won't go into the details of that because it's not always, you know, it's not
politics.
Free, it's not free knowledge, you know. And so, but yeah, and then I got into that, and I don't know, I did it, you know, I volunteered for the first 2 years, and yeah.
Okay. And you prefer like now, but you know, full out coach, like that's.
Well, yeah.
You not full out. You also do stuff on the.
The thing from everything, right? And I came to Hungary in 2019, and I hadn't probably played or touched a rugby ball in like 11 years. From when I stopped playing when I was about 24 because of my teaching and stuff, so didn't want to turn up on Mondays like covered in bumps and bruises from playing rugby and not having any work done because I was so hungover on the Sunday because I had to play on the Saturday, and then get involved with the team on the Saturdays just so I quit. And then
that's my university life. I come up with like these blue marks and like what fight did you get in? No rugby.
And
every week.
And like it's that camaraderie that you get from the sport. But now that I'm settled in my job and COVID happened, like we were saying earlier, and I just wanted to play a bit and get a bigger circle.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, I'm very lucky in the sense that now, like the federation are helping me with my coaching badges, and you know, maybe 5, 6 years, maybe 10 years down the line, it might be a possibility that I could go as a full-time coach. Right now, I've got to keep my job.
Yeah. And we were actually talking about this earlier. So what do you do like during this period, like busy with like kids and I don't know.
I'm not always. I'm a teacher, right?
Teacher. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, the way I say that.
Busy with the kids.
The other day, I needed to ask a friend. different thing, but like same out of context. So the friend needed like FIV test, which is like AIDS for cats. It's pretty much
okay. Right.
She needed that test done. And I was like, yo, I might ask some people who have cats just like for the test, or like where I can go for the test.
Right.
I messaged this friend. She adopted 2 cats. I'm like, do you know where a friend can get an AIDS test? Full in my head, like FIV, like a feline fucking AIDS. End up asking for AIDS. And then as I'm reading what I wrote, I'm like, oh, context. Yeah. So you tease her right now. And then you brought up like behavioral issues start like more in the winter with like the sun going down. I find that so interesting. Like,
I think.
So wait, what do you do? Like,
so yeah, I'm a secondary school teacher. I teach biology, chemistry, and physics at international schools. So it's all in English, but as a leadership role as well, I guess I'm head of the year 8 and year 9. So I am responsible for like the pastoral care of maybe 60 to 80 kids, something around there. I'm not specific on the number, but yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty shitty when it gets dark and miserable in the winter and it's cold and that.
4 p.m. 4 p.m.
Yeah,
pitch black.
yeah.
That like still now. I've been in Hungary for like what almost 4 years. I have not. It's still a struggle till this day.
It's that time of the year now where if I leave my flat maybe about 7, like between 7 and 7, walk down to the bus and it's dark, and now
that's when sunrise starts.
And when I get home now it's still dark, so like when I'm out and the light it's just work and so it gets a bit tiresome. But the kids, I think, you know, they're affected, and like, you know, when I'm talking to you about dealing with behavioural issues, it's stupid shit, you know, like stuff for me that I would think, you know, if I did that, it's low level stuff, man.
Oh,
like we're in such a nice school and there's such nice kids and their families, and it's all low level stuff. I mean, there's stuff that I used to get up to, because in comparison was just like, you know, yeah. Well, I mean, my mother was, she probably had many sleepless nights because of the stuff that I got up to, but yeah. So, but yeah, I do think that there's seasonal depression.
Yeah, the winter depression.
100%, I think, man.
Because I wouldn't think you would actually like see it happen. Like, everyone knows about winter depression, but you never see the consequences of it. You know, it's not like, you know, the sun goes down at 4. It's never sunny. It's shitty weather. It's raining, snowing. It was actually snowing the other day. That was impressive. It never snows. But yeah, stuff like that, and then you don't expect it to actually come up in behavior, but like, yeah.
I just think we're creatures of routine, you know. Once you've got your routine of like, I don't know, you get up, you do this as a kid. You get up, you eat breakfast, get in your car, you go to school, you're at school, then you go home. Like, once that routine has to change a bit because of the environment, it takes a little bit of time to adapt. But also at the same time, at this point in the year, I was saying this to you earlier, they've now adapted to the school and the environment of the school. And like, if they're like me, as I was a kid, now they're going to test. Now they're going to get bored and they're going to try and occupy. But they're going to occupy themselves, and maybe they'll get like say, groggy, or just like. I think the thing is, like, you know, I teach biology, and at the moment, one of my year 11 classes, we're talking about negative feedback and all this, like diabetes and that. And I was talking to one of them. I was like, you know, I don't actually know of anything about positive feedback mechanism in biology. And this 15-year-old girl goes, sir, it's for women and oxytocin, and when they're being pregnant, like, it's a positive feedback mechanism that allows them to carry on giving birth because the oxytocin. I was like, fuck, that's amazing. What my example was, my example of a positive feedback loop was, you know, when you wind someone up, and you just, like, you're having so much fun, you keep winding them up and you winding them up and you winding them up. Yeah. And that was my analogy of a positive feedback, when she was just like oxytocin, so
some smart kids.
Yeah, no, they're great, man. They're like,
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just for me, but I think like doing like a teacher type role or like teaching the next generation, I find that very fulfilling for some reason. I feel it's like, I don't know. I think you get more characters, like there's so many characters you meet and so many for like a short period.
So I love meeting people and kids, like, you know, they are people. Honestly, fulfilling. It's a job, man, and basically it is rewarding, but the reason why I love being a teacher the most is that I get like 18 weeks, 16 weeks a year of holiday.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not in it. Like, I do care, and I care greatly, but the caveat is that I get a lot of holiday.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, if I'm being serious, and I'm saying this to you as a mate, but like, if I'm being very serious with, like, I don't know, prospective employer or whatever, maybe I wouldn't say this, but when I'm talking freely with friends and that, the fulfillment is great, but the holidays are
the best.
The gold stamp, man. That's what's kept me in teaching.
Okay. What is vacation? Because that's like, you get summer,
so I
get 2 months off of summer vacation.
Summer's 2 months.
Class.
I mean, it's a little less than 2 months, man. We'll break up. I was looking today because we break up end of June, we get all of July, and then majority of August. I maybe sometimes have to go back in August just for doing a little bit extra with the leadership role, but yeah, we won't teach really until like absolute end of August.
But like teaching is also like mostly administrative. Like you teach during the day, but like in the background, it's like a shit ton of admin. Maybe I got this wrong, but like from my perspective, what I think teaching is, it's like you go, you give a class, afterwards you need to like, I don't know, do tests, set up tests, do, I don't know, teacher shit.
Teacher shit. And like a lot of it is like, and this is the thing, right? And this is like, you know, I teach in a way that is comfortable for me but effective, and like, how do I measure my effectiveness? I can't wait until the end of someone's, like, we have the system GCSEs and A-levels, which is 2 like exam groups that go through. So GCSEs 16, 18 is A-levels, and you do 2 sets exams, then you go to university. But I need to be able to be aware of what I'm doing right and wrong. So that admin, it's not, I wouldn't say it's admin, it's more like the litmus test, and that's a test of how effective have you been as a teacher? How well does this student know the topic that you're teaching? Do you need to do anything else? Do you need to gap fill in? And it's all like, the beauty of my school is that all of that is left to me to decide how I do it. Like, they're very good in like trusting me as a professional to be able to gauge what I need and what. Like, I follow a curriculum, like a syllabus and that, but how I deliver and how I measure and test and find out how I improve, it's really all down to me.
Okay. But like, so then what if you have like a class that fails a lot? Is it just you being a shit teacher, leaving it, you know, in your ball court to figure it out?
As a professional, if my class was flunking subjects, I would have to reflect and think, well, what am I doing wrong? How can I make it better for them? What else can I do to improve their chances? I think like, and it's like where I came from in the UK, where I was teaching before. I was at a school for 10 years, and it was a tough school, but I did learn so much there from like people and attitudes and psychology, and it's put me in such a good stead now for just managing my relationships. I'm like,
okay, that's cool.
So yeah, it's very reflective teaching, like.
Yeah, because I think surely you have like that 1 or 2 students that are like always, I'm even thinking back on high school and stuff like that, like I was, in high school I was a really good student. Like I don't know, now as a college student, I don't really give a fuck. It's like, get the grease, you know?
Yeah, I think.
And like,
sorry, go on.
yeah, like back in the day, like I was like studying a lot more and stuff like that. But then you also get, I mean, I like being friends with a bunch of people, and then not necessarily that I was friends with them, but like a lot of my friends, I needed to help them pass.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like it's just not, school's
School's
not sometimes for people. Sometimes
it's
school
not.
is not for people. Yeah.
But what we were doing, I 100% understand. But like, what I would take it from like where I am now in my life as a teacher, you're not just looking at grades like results. We have this metric of like it's called value added. So say you come to me as a B grade student, and I get you to an A grade.
You added value.
I've added value, but if I get an E grade student to a C grade, that's better than what I did for you as moving you from a B to an A.
Okay.
It's the levels of progression that you make, and that's like there's much research about this, and like the Fisher Family Value Trust and this, and yeah, it's a big metric, but a lot of the institutions in the UK or the way of teaching is still all about outcomes and not necessarily how much progress and value you add to a student.
That makes sense. Yeah, because like if all you care about is the A's, and then fuck the people who got the D's, like it's like that's.
I was never going to get an A in art, right? Me personally as a student, I would never get an A as art, never. But and that might be because of interest, lack of talent, lack of like
just
resilience with it,
and just sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just not creative people. Yeah.
Exactly, but then you get it's all about a lot of weighing and just making that progression valued for the kids.
Shit. Yeah. Like actually, I don't know why it's dawning on me now. This value added thing. I think like that's one thing that a teacher can really help with. So I had this teacher, Louise Harton.
Yeah.
She gave me accounting. Accounting. Now I came in. Now I have a really good. I think it's right-sided brain, which is like good in math, or it's left-sided. Yeah. I might be mistaken. One of the two. One of is for creative, one is for like math. But I'm like math and like logical thinking and stuff like that. I'm pretty good in that. That's my. And now, pretty much now, I go into accounting. It's my last year of high school. And I get like, shit, man. I get, first test, I get like 60. I get like 60, which is, for my standards, very shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, for other people, I understand how accounting is not that. And I remember she sat me one time after class and she was like, listen. I see potential in you. You're just not doing work. You're just fucking around. That's what you're doing. Like, realistically.
I couldn't imagine.
Like, there's like, you can be good in accounting, but you're not allowing yourself to be good. And then she pretty much like drilled into my mind that, listen, do good. Do fucking good. Like that's, and then there's a point where, I mean, shit, not to brag or shit, but like I got like third in the country for like my second accounting paper at like the end of high school, and it was not necessarily that I like accounting, but I do love accounting. I do have a like thing for that type of, it satisfies me to. At the end, like balancing tables when you need to do that.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to balance, or you like it's not balancing, and then you fix it and it that.
I do like anything performance based is so crucial about your mindset. Like if you want to do something, you want to do it well. If you bring a positive mindset to that, you will do it. And as a coach of rugby and coach of science or whatever, as long as I can get the mindset for learning, for improvement, for reflection in your students, like they will always perform better.
But I think you also need, you need like that vessel. Like sometimes students don't have that mindset built into them.
Yeah.
And then they need like that, you know, that elbow. Hey, climb with me on this ride.
For me at school, and like, I specifically remember 2 teachers saying to me, "You're a waste of space. You're a fucking loser. You're not gonna do anything." And then I was like, "All right, I'll prove you wrong." And I got A's in their subjects, and that's just what I needed. I needed the challenge, because. And when it becomes personal for me, I'm just like.
But not a lot of kids are like that.
No,
I think if I if I ended up with a 60 like that first test, and that teacher didn't at the end like leave me after class or whatever, and didn't like give me that positive talk, I would probably drop the subject. I would be like, you know what? I don't care about your subject. Cheers. I have something else to do.
I mean, the funny thing, what I'm laughing at is there when you say, "Oh, I've got 60% in a UK university is a 2-1, like, which is the second highest degree you can get, the second highest result. 70% is a first, so 70% above you're flying in the UK.
What about like? Does it stop at 70 or does it go 80, 90?
No, 70 to 100 is all the same grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So typically you pass a course in the UK with 40%, you'll get a third, and then it's 50 to 60 is a 2-2. No, or 45 to 55 is a 2-2. Then 55, 60 to 2-1. No, yeah. So sorry, 60 to 70 is a 2-1, and then above 70 you get your first.
And then that's like for college or like for high school?
University.
Yeah, but I'm talking about high school. Like, high school is a bit different, but like university now, I get the 2-2s. It's like, they're 2-2? Hell yeah!
I mean, like, this is the thing, when I was at uni, and this was 2005, man, and like, my first year at uni was about just getting off the Isle of Wight, like we said, going to Plymouth, drinking, partying, playing a bit of rugby, and like I in my mind, I didn't. My first year didn't even count towards my final year grade.
Damn.
So like I had to make sure I passed one course, which was the practical module in the biological sciences, and did that. Second year, I was like, fuck this, I'm just going to sit at home, play a lot of games. I played a lot of games, a lot of Football Manager, a lot of Counter-Strike. So I was like, this is before the esports era though, but like...
Some CSGO, yeah.
But I was fucking good at Counter-Strike. I was just playing once, and this guy is like on the chat, "How the fuck have you got a command rate of 78? I had no idea what that meant, but apparently it was very good. But then I'd do that and I played rugby, and I stopped going to university, and then I found out that I could change course at the end of the second year. Okay. So like, I changed course. But then 2 of my modules were capped for my actual second year. So I repeated my second year at university. And then did my second year exams, got into the third year, and like the realisation of it was like, fuck, I actually have to do shit now. And then like I didn't want to, like I ended up with a 2-2, but like I was like 0.5% away from a 2-1, which would have been fucking great, considered that I had 2 modules capped at 40% because I repeated them in my repeated year, whatever. But then I got my dissertation published, which was like a lot of fun.
What was the dissertation?
Like, so one module in your university course, and it's like a project that you do. And then
is it like a paper you write or something?
So it was
like
worth, yeah. So I think it was worth like almost 2/3 of your final year grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got published by MRSA, a lot of fun.
Nice. Multiple resistant.
Yeah, methicillin resistant
Staphylococcus aureus. Yeah. Literally doing bacteriology. I'm writing like bacteriology like Monday or something. The Tuesday. But yeah, we're learning about bacteriology for a reason now. But yeah.
But I think, fucking man, and this the weirdest thing, right, is my mother's father was also Like, he went into microbiology. I had no idea. And then when I started my masters, I was at this University of Kent, and my grandfather's name was on the wall. What the fuck's that about?
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Who's this guy?
And then at the same time, my cousin was also on another picture on the wall where she had done a PhD within microbiology.
Also microbiology. Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Crazy shit, man.
That must have been like, what? How did that happen? Yeah, like how?
Fucking weird, man. I'll tell you, the weirdest thing like that was when I came here, there's this girl. So I work at the school that one of my friends, I met this girl in the UK in Canterbury. Good friends with her. Was with her best mate for a while. And then I came out and I went to this rave, this drum and bass rave, A38. I can't remember who was playing. I think it might have been Ronnie Size. I'm just there. And then I see this girl that I know from Canterbury in Budapest. I'm like, oh man. She's like, oh, how you doing? And like we probably hadn't spoken to each other for a while up until that point, and then it just coincided that she had come back from the UK. She'd moved to London after Canterbury. She'd come back from the UK to Budapest the same time that I moved out here, and it's just Just so
that sometimes the world is like really small like that. Like it's
I love it.
Hey, it's cool. It's
I love it.
it's nice. Talking about the rave scene.
Yeah.
So I was wondering. So like, I know the UK rave scene, right? Or not rave scene. It's more like drum and bass scene. That's like the big thing right now. But like the underground raves back in the 90s was like, it was mental shit. It was like, that's when it was popping. That's when it's like a whole culture.
Yeah, the rave culture. Like, I mean, the thing I don't know if it is mainly drum and bass. You know, like what happened around like the mid noughties, like 2000s, 2005. Drum and bass became very, very commercial. Started to come in on TV. It was on TV adverts and stuff. Before that, it were never on TV, and you'd have like DJs like Andy C, Ronnie Size, Nicky Black Market, Pendulum, all these like kind of like, you know, like very important DJs. I mean,
it's like underground almost.
Yeah, but I mean that was maybe a bit earlier before my time, and you'd have like Fabio and Groove Rider. I think the big thing and this is I'm guessing, but I think drum and bass really kicked off in like mid-90s with Fabio and Groove Rider having a resident slot at this massive club called Fabric, and also simultaneously Ronnie Size down in Bristol doing some stuff down there. I'm not sure, but like the main scene in the UK in like the 90s was rave and hardcore, like techno and like.
I find it like so interesting that a culture was created from like literally just parties, just like
and I think like,
finding one or other place to just put some lights on, get a speaker involved, get a DJ pumping, and then
for like, and then like if I bring it back to what we were saying, like you go when you're in the UK, maybe you're 30, right, and you're working in a bank, and that's your 9 till 5. And maybe sometimes you go to the pub, and then you're like, fuck, what else can I do? And then this thing happens. There's this thing, and there's a rave, and it's like there's this new type of music, and like everybody's like on the same feeling.
Yeah, everyone's on fucking something. Everyone's fucking shades on, just
very, very rarely in like human nature, like you get it at music events and you get it at sporting events where, say if me and you went and watched like a rugby game, and we're supporting the same team, we're watching it, and at the exact same moment we'll be feeling the same emotions.
Yeah, because there's a try.
And that very rarely happens. It happens with a few things like music and like this mob mentality stuff. And like when you start going into the rave scene, and you feel that vibe, and like it's
and
like,
this DJ's just spitting some crazy beats, and like everyone's just.
Well, I think
that makes sense. Yeah.
I think it first came out of anti-culture. It was anti-culture against what the UK had tried to like they've been through like the 80s and the 70s weren't like necessarily a prosperous time for the UK. And the 90s, everything started to get a bit better. Like, I remember, you know, I think Tony Blair got voted in 96, and I don't want to get at all political, but, you know, that was like, austerity wasn't there and nothing, and everyone was earning more money and everything was happy, and then you got this anti-culture of like, the rave scene. It's fucking class, man. Like, I've been to raves in like, limestone quarries, like what raves in these fucking domes, like by the beach that we used to live by. It was fucking nuts, man. Like just these guys just dragging massive generators, like to these sites, massive generators, decks, like, you know, I'm talking about vinyl. Yeah.
Vinyl.
Technics Mark II, whatever, 1210s. Like, I mean, I had some vinyls, decks when I was like 15, 16. Yeah, man, it's fucking...
Because I've seen like, so everything now is like on that, I don't know, it's all digital. It's all digital, you go there. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I like study and I listen to like background music.
Yeah.
And then you get these guys with like a whole collection of vinyls. And they just have a sound playing and oh shit, okay. This vinyl will work. They start, boom.
I'll tell you, you want
class.
If you want to watch something about rave culture in the UK, there's this film called Human Traffic, and like, it's fucking brilliant. It's all about the rave scene, working the 9 till 5, waiting till the weekends, going to party, doing everything that you could possibly get your hands on. It's got Howard Marks in it, talking about spliff politics and who do you pass the spliff to next and stuff. It's fucking brilliant film, man. You have to, Human Traffic. It's one of
the... have a look.
Man, it shapes a lot of like, you know, in my head, a lot of jokes, a lot of things that me and my mates used to get out to. Like, a lot of fun, man.
Nice. Yeah, I think that was a cool it was a cool. Yeah, I don't know, I like the whole scene like that where everyone just goes there. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a bit liberal in that way, but I feel like drugs are like not as bad as they are sometimes portrayed. And like, I don't know, I can totally see, if you want to go out on the weekend, you have your 9 to 5, and there's this underground fucking rave thing, and there's just a magical drug called Molly or ecstasy. Like, why not? Like, the abusive part is always like with everything.
Yeah.
Like, there's always abuse, but at the same time, why take something like that away from someone? You know, it's like,
I think that, and again, teacher's hat, right?
Yeah, teacher's hat. Yeah.
We are in a position where to educate young people how to manage those situations best possible. Like, I'm not naive enough to think that all the kids that go out or whatever, or whoever's out on a Saturday night, that they're not taking drugs. That might happen, but do they know how to manage it when they're doing it? Do they know that if they're taking ecstasy and they're not dancing, that they might have to drink copious amounts of water? Because if they do the blood thins, and then you get this big tragedy that was big in the news in the UK about Leah Betts or whatever, where she drank too much. She drank too much water. She's taken ecstasy and she died. So,
isn't it like people who like don't drink water that like overheat?
You can die. Yeah. So,
but
it's like it's balancing act. Like, we're talking about homeostasis, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
let's get biological in here.
Like, it's a balancing act. You get too hot or too cold. But if you're drinking loads of water and you're not doing, so basically, usually you'd see the ravers that are like, shirts off and bottle of water, because they are going for it for like 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
Right? And they're sweating buckets and they have to replace the water.
Yeah.
If you're with your mates and you sat down and having like more of a kind of like a cerebral experience with your drugs that you're taking, if they're stimulants, amphetamines and ecstasy and whatever, then you don't necessarily have to take on the waters that much because you're not losing it as much.
Sweating. You're not sweating in essence. Yeah.
So it's
But that's just education. I feel like it's like they don't educate drugs. They don't tell you that like this is bad, this is good, this is something you should do. Like if you like having a pack of gum. Like having a pack of gum. That's logical. Otherwise you're chewing your jaws off. You're chewing your fucking lips off.
Well, also there's like theories about the chewing and the gurning, you know, and like the gurning is apparently when I was told apparently the ecstasy started getting cut with different things. And one of the big things that it was cut with was warfarin, which is
that's rat poison.
Yeah,
that's literally rat poison.
And what it does to the rats is locks their jaw out so they can't eat. So, and then that's when
I think that might be fake news because what warfarin does is it like inhibits like vitamin K, I think, and that means that as soon as like bleeding happens, like you can't like
it's just clotting.
Like hemorrhages to start forming because it's just fucked. It's just actually interesting thing. They keep on like drilling this in our head for some reason. But they're like, so why warfarin is a really good like rat poison is because rats are not stupid. Like most animals you think that are not human are like dumb. No, they're actually smart. So like if you get a poison, something like let's say cyanide. Cyanide is very poisonous. You put it in, a rat will go, eat it, this rat poison, and then immediately die. So it's close to the food. So all the other rats stay away.
100%.
But with warfarin, how it works, it's like it kicks in after a day. So like it will eat it, fuck off, do its own rat things, rat-like activities, and then die. And they're like,
No, but it's interesting, like humans as well. This is a thing within humans. If I'm sat with you and we've been out on the beers and you've had a burger and then you start vomiting, and I'm eating the same burger.
You thinking it's
I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, I can't watch this. Because it's the same thing. It's like, if you connect, like, bad foods with something that you're doing, but I've shared it, then I will start feeling sick. And that's a natural thing. That's an evolutionary response from people living in societies and hunting, eating the same foods. If you're sick because of that food, I need to be sick to get rid of the food that I've eaten.
Because it's probably also... That's shit.
Yeah, a lot.
That's it. Like so much.
This whole thing about like anthropological like studies and the evolution of humans and society, I find it fascinating, man. I wish I kind of like more as older I got and like maybe not wiser. You know, you've seen me on a Saturday night smash up my head, but like the more I've done like more things, like more I kind of regret not studying certain things in more detail. But
yeah, because there's probably like certain things you find interesting and certain things you don't.
Yeah,
it's like that's the type of shit you would find interesting.
I mean, like I don't know, it's anything, man. If whatever I'm learning, I like to learn it. It doesn't matter what it is.
I find certain things like more. I don't know. Certain things more interesting, like. But at this very moment, you know, when something can come to mind, it's not like. But for example, like, I really enjoyed anatomy. That for a reason, and that I like even. Man, I'll fall back on that. Math. I'm not doing math right now. I should have done it. I should have, not that I'm regretting what I'm doing now, but if you look at like what I would be good in, I should have done math, but it doesn't fit my personality because I can't do a 9 to 5 where I just sit in a box and do math. But like, literally I find it, I can do it for hours on end. I can sit, put music in, put music in, put a random album on. Never even listen to the album. Just put it on. The music will not even sound like music. It's like background noise. And I'll just get in the zone and I'll just start fucking 1 + 1 is 2. You know? Oh, that's the best.
Shit, man. Yeah. I think, like, and this, I mean, I became a teacher essentially because I didn't know what else to do, right? But I'd done some tutoring before. I finished my masters, and I wanted to stay in science. And
do you think that's also like a thing because now that you have a liking to science because somehow your grandpa was also a microbiologist, like you don't realize it, but like maybe it's like underlying somehow something.
It's funny you said. I mean, I was watching with my year 13, so year 13, we're teaching them about inheritance, and this clip was talking about epigenetics, and how they think now that the kind of like behavioural patterns and stuff, and like, you know, your susceptibility to being a drinker or a smoker is also now being inherited.
Yeah,
like
I believe that.
Yeah, I mean,
epigenetics, like, I don't know how much you know about it, but like, I also don't know a lot. I'm an expert no, but like, it's very, it's like your genetics, it's like you have your genes that make you.
Yeah.
And then above that, there's like the controlling modules. If I can say it like that in a very unscientific way, like these things that just keep your genes in check to make sure, okay, you should produce these proteins, that and that. But like at the same time, it also has like a backfall to like stuff that happened in previous generations somehow. Like, who teaches, let's say a dog, let's say you have a dog. He lives in your apartment and stuff like that. You take him out for a walk. Theoretically speaking, let's say he does not see other dogs a lot. Would he still lift his leg up to piss?
I mean,
like,
if he doesn't, if the dog that is male that doesn't lift his leg up to pisses all over himself.
No, fucking 2 legs and just. Okay. I see your logic in it. Let's say if there's grass, can probably get it absorbed, but like, I know there's so I'm not exactly sure what it is, what the animal is called, but there's like tests that are done on, okay, I'm just talking out of my ass now, but like, for example, like certain animals would be more inclined, even if they don't know it, they will have a genetic response already in there. For example, like, I think it's like, I need someone to check this up, but anyway, it's like a duck or something. Let's say it's a duck, for example, or a bird of some kind. They would do tests on it, and like random flying objects they will put over it. No reaction, or even play sounds. But as soon as the sound of an eagle, even though it never has heard an eagle sound, it will immediately go into panic mode of let's get the fuck out of here.
100%. Innate behaviours are a real thing. I mean, you look at, like, let's think about the Sahara or the Serengeti. If that zebra can't walk within 2-3 minutes of it being born and run, it's fucking dead. So the gestation period for zebras and elephants is a little bit longer, like, because there's less communal care from them. Humans have quite a relatively short gestation period, and also the brain develops one after you're born. There's not many innate behaviours.
That's why we need like parents to look after us, because our brains are like.
Like there's one innate behaviour programmed into humans, and that grasp reflex where something's in their hand and the baby will grab. Now that is from either holding on to the mother or moving through here. So also this is something. So you get this band here. There's a little tip. So put your finger and your pinky together like thumb, and bring it up, and you have a band here. Not all of us will have this tendon. Like, I think on this arm there's nothing there. On this arm,
this arm is fucked.
it's a weight-bearing tendon that is not there in genetics anymore. But like, I've talked to people about them losing their like appendix and how that will evolve into people without appendix, which won't happen. But you know, it's like those innate behaviours. Bringing it back to that, the innate behaviours, yeah, it's a real fucking thing, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, man. And like, it's like if what I think about now, and this is why I mean, coaching and teaching for me, it's all about the psyche of a person, and like the negative experiences that people have impact them so more profoundly than any like positive experience. So psychologically, like those innate behaviours, like we're talking about vomiting when you see your mate vomiting and stuff like this, is all protection mechanisms, protection reflexes. You know, we have the reflex like that, but we also have other reflexes behavioural reflexes that will protect us from emotional harm. And like psychologically, you were always
for a reason, like the first thing while you were explaining this, the first thing that came up in my head was injuries.
Yeah.
Because in a player's head, as soon as you get a certain injury, like let's say shoulder, or knee, or whatever, how many like football, rugby, MMA, all these type of sports players never come back the same because it's innate, it's in your head already. Like, man, shit, when I was 16, I fractured my skull playing rugby.
I can imagine.
I believe that, mate. I fractured my skull from this left eyebrow to like middle here.
Big one, man. Jeez.
Yeah, it was, Anyway, when I started, took a long while off, didn't play rugby for a while. When I came back when I was like 18, 18 let's say.
Yeah.
You don't know it, but you feel it.
Yes,
you're you're fine, but it's in your head already.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there, and it's just it's just part of it. I don't know. It's
I think like the exiles, and I'll talk about the exiles and the injuries, and won't go into specific people, but you know we get quite regular injuries, and whenever I get someone that is injured, I just say to them, look, you take care of yourself, get back to where you are, but get back to where you need to be and be ready. I never want to rush anyone back from injury, because it's like the body has to heal, but also you have to be confident enough. You know, when you're playing rugby and you've played rugby to such a level or so frequently, when you're in the game, it's autopilot. You know what you're doing. You don't have to think about, I need to actually run and get to this ruck. It just fucking happens.
It's like breathing.
Exactly.
It's like breathing. You don't think about breathing, you just know that's but that's also the thing. So this is also a theory in my own head, but I ended up the rugby. I stopped playing rugby in high school. Didn't play rugby for a whole while.
Yeah.
Stopped playing rugby, COVID hit, all that shit like that. Stopped that completely. To the point where my mind healed and forgot about the injury. So when I came back into rugby, that whole crutch that was put onto me after the big... Because trust me, like when I fucked my skull up...
I can imagine, man.
So my sinus was also cracked at the same time. And what happened is, like, my sinus was cracked. Okay, we are a good hour and 8 minutes in. I'll tell this story. We have time to tell this story. So it's fucking story time.
Let's go. Bro.
So it was under 16 practice against our first team. So I was under 16 with this big guy, fucking Dean. Dean was his name. He's like, he's like not the most intelligent person, but he was built for rugby, pretty much. Yeah. And we are doing a move, I think back in the day we called it Buffalo, but it was like a pop, a first that we have now, where you play it short and then you have one player and a guy assisting at the side to just like help, to help secure. And yeah, sorry for those who don't know rugby terms. Unlucky.
Learn.
And then the one guy, so the guy in front of me stepped out of the way, and the dean, like, just me being stupid as I am, just all I was thinking, push forward. So I latched onto the guy and I pushed forward, and he stepped out of the way, and it was head-on-head contact, and it was just boom, boom, and then drop down. Didn't know. Yeah. Come up. We do like this concussion tests. Pass everything, except I just didn't know how I got to school that day. I wasn't sure if I Ubered or my mom dropped me off. It was one of the two. Anyway, luckily my mom's already there. I tell her, we need to go. We barely leave school. Open up the door, I puke.
Yeah.
Puke blood.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Now, first thing that, so logic is, it's not that bad. Like, okay, first thing in my head, what goes is blood, hit on the head, my brain is bleeding.
Yeah.
Freak out. It's like a complete, we go straight to the ICU. We go straight to the ICU. Book me in, fucking bucket full of blood, puking. It's just shit. It's just terrible. They do an MRI, fractured skull, in essence. Had a blue eye for like a week. Finished one of my series. I finished like a series. I had like school for a month, in essence. I finished my series, and it was Gravity Falls. Do you know Gravity Falls? No. It's like this stupid cartoon. So cool. Finished it. Didn't have anything else to do. I'm like, I'm ready to go back to school. Just went back to school. Anyway, couldn't play, like, after that. Rugby didn't fit well. It didn't, took a year off. But every time I needed to make a hit, it's like, I didn't want to. I couldn't. It was just because I'm scared of my head. And then COVID came and all these things, and like nothing happened in rugby, and it's like somehow that break allowed myself to forget that this actually happened, and like that crutch of not wanting to make a tackle got taken away completely, because it's not, you don't think about that anymore. It's like, it's healed. Yeah. It's healed in essence. And then now playing is crackhead as usual, but
you whine about it. So, Rich, I'm so tired. I'm gonna get I'm like, yeah, you'll be fine, mate. Play 80 minutes again.
Oh shit. No, but that happened. I still actually have. You can you want to feel it.
No, you want me to feel you?
You want to feel it.
Yeah,
you can feel
like that. Is you can
feel the bump. You can feel it's like you can feel it like that.
Yeah, but like I think, and like there's bad injuries and there's like awful injuries, and like head injuries I think are just like whenever you see that, and also if anyone see that clash of head that you're talking about, that clash of heads, it's gonna be like. They're going to see it.
I had a professor or a teacher that would always, he would constantly, as soon as he sees me, he's like, how is your maths mark doing?
Yeah.
It's like, he was concerned that I turned retarded. He was like genuinely concerned about my health.
Yeah.
But like, fair game, I fucking fractured my skull. But
yeah, man.
it's truly a blessing that I did not, nothing too bad happened.
What
could have been
what
so
you're talking
bad.
about the HIA and that and stuff, I'm pretty sure when I was playing, maybe the highest level game that I played, which was under 17, under 18, whatever, Welsh Exiles, I took a hit to the head in that game. And there were no HIA protocols there, and I carried on, and the majority of that game is a blur, but it's also...
How would you explain a concussion? Like to someone that never had it's such a weird
Yeah.
it's weird. It feels like I'm in a dream. Or like if I get a big...
I had a massive concussion once where I was in hospital for 24 hours, and again, the hospital that I went to was in Portsmouth. They thought I had serious neurological damage, so they were going to take me over to the neurological unit in Southampton. But all I remember from that was three parts of the whole 24 hours, and one was vomiting.
Yeah.
Absolutely just puking. The second one was when I was getting my MRI. They have this big...
Yeah. Then you put it in and like...
I thought the mattress that you were lying on, I thought it was a blanket. So I'm trying to get underneath this fucking mattress like this. and then I remember deciding that I wanted to leave and fighting like 4 or 5 security guards trying to leave the hospital.
To go.
But this was in Portsmouth, and this is on the other side of the water to where I live, and I had no fucking idea about it. And my dad was just like, yeah, it was like you were very, 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 very drunk. And yeah, apparently he would say to me, I was asking, how did I play? Did I play well? What was the score? Did we win? And that was on a loop for like 30 minutes.
The brain is so, because now that you say it, I remember from that concussion, I remember puking.
Yeah.
I remember, do you know what, that experience is one of the reasons why I'm studying veterinarian. This is on some deep shit, but like, anyway, this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to study veterinary, because I was like, I will never allow myself to willingly step into the ICU again. With my because it was me thinking about the nurse, right?
Yeah.
Just take it out of her perspective. I was puking blood inside a basket.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The person next door to me also played rugby, broke his fucking back. he broke like a piece of his fucking vertebrae.
Yeah.
He broke a piece of his vertebrae off. He was screaming in pain. And there was another guy that also had a rugby injury, but that was like compared to us.
Pussy.
In the ICU, bitch. But like after that, I was like, never ever again I will set my foot willingly into an ICU, because it's just like seeing, and that's probably not the worst they've ever seen. Like it's, I guarantee you now that that's not the worst they've ever seen.
Yeah, and like fuck, man. I mean, rugby is not. It's so physical, and it is dangerous. It can be dangerous. And but also at the same time, these people, nurses, doctors, like thank fuck they're trained, and thank fuck they're as good as they are. Do you know what I mean? And
thanks for them being desensitized. They just like
and like 100%, they've got to get used to it, because like and again it'll be the same thing for you when you're playing rugby. They go and they're on autopilot. They're nurse mode.
Yeah.
They're nurse mode, and they're like right, bang, 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 and it's that's like the supreme power of the human mind. It's like when you're doing something that you know how to do it, and you know how to do it well, like high performance of nurses, players, people, whatever scenario, if they're doing something that they know how to do well, they don't fucking think about it, they just do it well.
Yeah, it's intuition at that point.
Amazing.
It's just like,
It's
that's very cool.
So
wow, just like autopilot, just...
the next step and the next step, you don't even think about it. And like, you can liken it to driving a car, whatever. You don't have to think of it. I mean, when I'm over here, I learned driving on the left-hand side of the road, so it's a bit different for me.
Me too, yeah.
Like, but it's that sort of autonomous result of conditioning.
Especially if you do it good. Especially if you do it in a proper way, then it's fine. Like going in autopilot, there's no problem. But like if you're fucking around and you're like,
when you're fucking around though, and again specific to rugby, if you're fucking around, that's when I always taught and learned that that's when the injuries happen. When you're not doing it properly, when you're not taking it seriously.
As soon as you skate to make the hit, that's when you get the injury somehow. It's probably, there's no scientific base after this, but in my own head is that as soon as you are scared to do something, as soon as you have that hindrance in your mind, that's when the injury happens.
Yeah.
It's not when you're certain that put the shoulder in or do this, do that.
Yeah.
No problem with that because that's what your body does. But as soon as you hinder it, something falls out of place and that opens the opportunity.
Your coaches and every coach has a responsibility to teach tackle technique, and that if you get, fizzy beers, but if you get the tackle technique correctly, you shouldn't be experiencing injuries.
Yeah. Especially if you putting your head at the right side. Yeah. That's a big one. That's a big one in rugby.
That's what I didn't do when I got my big concussion.
Head on the wrong side.
Yeah. Bang here. Should we have a little break if you want to carry on?
Yeah, you can have
only the whiz, mate.
Yeah, go to that for this.
Yeah, with your head mainly, and then my concussion, and your concussion.
Just all of the concussions.
Well, and
we just got back from the pee break.
I needed it, man. I'm an old man, you know. But if we talk you know who Steve Thompson is. You ever heard of him? He's the World Cup winning English hooker.
Okay,
and they won the
Steve
World
Thompson
Cup in 2003, and they're now suing. Was it the IRB, the International Rugby Board, or maybe the RFU, the English Rugby Union, about lack of care about head injuries and stuff.
Because now he's a bit mental or something.
Well, he's getting early onset dementia. Yeah. That's
American football. What movie did Will Smith make the other day? Or not the other day, but it's like Concussion or something.
I'm not sure what the movie's called, man, but
I think it's literally called Concussion.
Yeah.
I'm really.
Is that a new one?
No, it's old. It's about it's about pretty much how small hits to the head, not even concussion level, just constantly get.
Yeah.
It leads to the brain degenerating
and
then just becoming
But it solidifies, doesn't it?
Yeah,
They did a study about it, and I think as the more repetitively impacts there are to the brain, the harder it gets, and then.
Yeah, so in 2015, Will Smith, dropped Concussion. That's the.
So
yeah.
As a Newcastle
I don't know what
fan, as a Newcastle fan, you have to know about Alan Shearer, right?
Alan Shearer, for a reason I feel like I've heard that name.
He's the top Premiership goal scorer. He grew up in Newcastle, went and played for Southampton as a youth, and then played for Blackburn, and then Newcastle at the time, 95, 96, maybe the year after, brought him for £15 million, which was a world record transfer fee at the time. But he did this documentary on BBC about impacts of heading the ball, and the study that they did around it about how heading the ball may lead to dementia.
I think it's CTI, CTE or something. That's a condition. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And I don't know. It's weird because as a hooker, man, I used to put my head in lots of places that I probably shouldn't have done on the rugby pitch and get hit hard sometimes. And that was my choice, though, for the love of the game, man.
It's part of the game.
Yeah,
it's part of the game.
At the same time, I think maybe if I drank probably over the last 10 years, 200 pints less, I might And then it's stupid, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But fuck it, I'm gonna sue some cunt because my head's not working properly, do you know what I mean?
It's not my problem.
Yeah.
Fuck that cunt.
Fuck that cunt, man. That's a good speech, really. Jesus Christ.
No, but yeah, like literally the whole concussion thing about like the small hits that like just add up. It's like, it's a bit screwed, but it's true.
Yeah, man, and like, I mean, for fuck's sake, come on though, like, it doesn't take modern society and modern science to work that out though. And like, as a professional rugby player, yeah, and I think what the problem is that the aftercare from professional rugby, like, I don't think the players, maybe 10 years ago, maybe like the top players would get paid a lot, but like maybe not the world class players, but the international players wouldn't get paid enough to see them out through their career. So there has to be some sort of aftercare where clubs are looking after players and stuff, and you know,
for example, like a physical sport like rugby, American football, even football with like headers and stuff where you hit the ball. Like, how can you take responsibility, or how can you prevent that, like, this CTE? Yeah. I don't know, I don't even know if it's CTE, but let's say it's CTE for now.
CTE.
It's CTE. Like, how do you prevent that? Like, how do you...
Well, that's why, like, the Exiles are an exception, but every game that we play, there's probably 2 or 3 yellow cards for high tackles and stuff like this. And that's even on the international games. Like, all the time now, games are littered with yellows and red cards. It's almost a rare occurrence that you'll watch a full professional game without getting a yellow card.
See, this is where I have a bit of a... See, I understand you look after the health out of people, but at the same time, don't kill the game. Where I feel, to a sort of a point, the refereeing started killing the game by... Okay, if something happens in real time, understand, in real time, there's a ruck and you need to do this in a ruck. And something might happen and heads might collide. But as soon as you slow it down to like these milliseconds, it becomes so much worse.
Well, I mean, and you and your audience are going to hate me for me bringing this up, but Sam Kane and Sia Khaleesi, in the biggest game of rugby ever.
Red card for Sam Kane, right?
Yeah, and Khaleesi got yellow.
Yeah. No.
Like, for me, like, I didn't see much difference. And they talk about, the referees are talking about mitigating factors and the movement of the attacking player and where the body position is, like, you know, and we bring back to this idea of tackle technique. Now, if you watch a rugby league game, like, everybody's like bang, and they're not actually tackling properly. They're trying to hit you here, and if they hit you here, they're like, that's fucking great tackle. They don't give a fuck in rugby league because it, like, especially in the UK, it's like, I think
that's the biggest.
The guys,
rugby league is.
It's horrible, isn't it? Because like, they're there for a scrap, right? They're not there to play rugby. A lot of those guys are there just for having a scrap, and then you want to coach tackle technique, and like, I think it's a bit of a joke where, like, I mean, we talk about Owen Farrell and how many red cards he's got and yellow cards he's got about his tackle technique. Goes to, on this course, to remove a suspension that he had. 3 games later, same tackle. Smashes someone in the head, gets another red card.
Oh, and it's high. It's not even like wrapping around the shoulder, like wrapping around with the arms. He just puts shoulder first, drops the guy. Like, Owen Farrell is known for that. It's literally like the one tackle I clearly remembers with Andre Esterhuizen. It was the 12 of South Africa.
I saw that.
And this guy is like 100 kilogram guy.
Yeah.
Running almost at full speed. Getting stopped.
Yeah.
Halfway in the run, not by tackle, by putting the shoulder in the guy's upper body and just dropping.
Yeah. But the ref didn't. I actually.
No, that was fine. Yeah.
It was weird. I actually saw that today. Well, I was killing some time at break time, like.
Yeah,
And then you come up, and then like the referee actually said, I didn't see any. It was because the ref said that he kind of wrapped with one arm. That is alright, and like that after that tackle, the ball came out. It went forwards, and then the English recovered and kicked it out, and ended up winning the game 13-12 or whatever.
Yeah.
If that's a penalty, it's kickable distance. I mean, it's not obviously. It was not like
changing the game, sort
no,
of.
it was the end of the game. So if it's a penalty, SA would have won that game if they kicked the penalty, which, you know, back then I can't remember who the kicker was, but
Pollard,
probably. I mean, I don't know how long ago it was, but it seemed like it was a bit longer ago. But it wasn't a World Cup match or anything. So
yeah, but I think refereeing to a point is like taking a bit too far because also they're making. Have you ever seen like also no backup statements? Have you ever seen a game in like Japan or something? So much. Well, I haven't personally watched it, but like as soon as they play a game in Japan, it gets. You know how they like this anime shirts?
Yeah.
Like this, they love, but that's just the culture.
Yeah.
No beef against the culture, but that's what they love. It's like this, I don't know, almost excessive type of
violence.
thing. Almost something like that. And I feel a lot of the times if there's a live game in Japan, the reffing turns inside out. It's like because they need to adapt to the culture, not the game. They're not playing rugby there somehow. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Maybe I have a look at a Japanese game, but that was something emotion I felt when I watched them play rugby there.
No, but I think you make a valid point that, you know, rugby rules are interpreted differently, and maybe a culture that can possibly interpret rules differently.
So for example, what I mean with that is like there's a lot of plot twists in their culture, sort of like the anime and stuff, the mangas and stuff. It's like a lot of there's constantly action need to be happening. So a lot of the times what would happen is, let's say there's a semi-dangerous tackle, but it's not that dangerous. If that team who made that semi-dangerous tackle is leading, they will TMO the shit out of it. And play like background noises. I swear, they play like this background noise like, oh yeah!
Finish him!
Like this suspenseful music. You're like waiting for what the Jaws here, what? And like shit like that. Like they do that. And then it's I don't know. It's maybe that's just a strange observation that I've made.
Honestly, I've reffed one game of rugby before and I fucking hated it.
Really?
No, I'll never do it again.
Why?
Oh, just I think maybe it was because I was reffing a game between like 13, 14-year-olds in Kent where I used to work, so they were probably like a little bit more mouthy than what they usually do, but I didn't enjoy it. I like to watch flying rugby, and I don't want to fucking manage like the rock and everything. I'd never want to referee again.
Yeah, but that's low level rugby. That's like
but like no, not for me.
Not for you.
Well, one of my mates that I grew up with is this year. He's going to be part of the Six Nations refereeing team.
Oh, class!
So I think at the moment he'll be an AI assistant referee, but you know I know that he did the Commonwealth Games. He's done like Premiership games in the UK. So he's there. I mean, he's like 3 or 4 years younger than me. Sorry, and I'm sight for him. He's good.
Yeah,
He's doing Six
that's
Nations
cool.
and that. Yeah, but I would never want to do rugby refereeing for that shit.
Yeah. Even the refs that we have, like, fuck them.
They're just like, and bless them. Listen, like, they try hard, but they're just, they're just. I don't know. I can't like. After the Honflot game, I gave an interview and.
Oh, when they
it
load
did-
on tour for the local
and it didn't get posted onto the social media because basically I was slaying the refs, you know.
Even the Ketchum guy. Okay, this is like not even valid conversation at the moment. The Mateo guy that we went out with the 12 posts
Yeah.
and wrestling shit like that. All good vibes. He's like, you know, the refs just fucking you.
Yeah.
He's like, there's nothing else except that. Like, it's just, that's literally just it.
I mean,
It's like
there were two
ridiculous.
things in that match.
The new like half of the team missing.
Well, no, but two decisions. Like one decision where there was latching on, so like they'd formed like you're allowed to pre-bind on a pick and go with one player, and they did it with three to go around the corner, and then from that phase they then scored afterwards. So they went round.
If we did that was a penalty for
No,
us.
100%. But they did it, and then the ref said to me, "Oh, they didn't happen when they scored." I was like, "But the point is of in the rules, and I fucking screenshot the rules and send it to the refs. I do this every fucking week, man. Every week we play, I do this shit, and the rules are that if there's two or more pre-banned players, that then the ball goes down. If he stays up, it's okay because it's a maul. But as soon as he hits the ground, there's more than two pre-banned players. They're just sealing off, and it stops the opposition side from competing for the ball. And that's what happens. And then they scored. And then when we were like the last 5 minutes of the game, we're camped in their 22. We had like maybe, I think I counted 8 penalties consecutively within 10 metres of their try line. So 6 is the rule where you're meant to give a warning that there's a yellow
6
card.
is already a lot, like at least 4 or 5, like.
One of those penalties as well, like, so we've actually lost the ball within, like, maybe this is the 5th or the 6th. We've lost the ball. Their 9, the guy from the pub, has passed it back to one of their players. He's dropped the ball. I think it's gone backwards, but then it's in the try zone, right? It's dropped the ball, and he's then just batted it out of the try zone. Like that, you know, like that's to knock the ball out of play deliberately with your hand is a yellow card offence, right? To do it in the try zone where it could possibly be a try scoring opportunity, it's a penalty try. So within that 5 minutes, that last 5 minutes,
What did we end up getting? 5 minutes
nothing.
scrum.
We got nothing. Yeah, no, we got another penalty. But we lost that game. What was it?
Close. It was like
15-10.
Yeah.
So that penalty try from 8 penalties or deliberately knocking it out of the pitch within the try zone, that's a penalty try. We win the game 17-15. And I speak to the refs and I'm like, you know, I have to fucking be reasonable, I have to be polite. I'm like, look mate, you know, you've cost us the game again. And it's again,
yeah, that's the thing, it's again.
I'm like, you know.
I laugh at the point where you say again, because it is again.
Just keeps happening.
Yeah.
And I've spent 2 or 3 years trying to help them. But I think a few of them are very open to what I'm trying to say and do. A few others just think I'm some English wanker that's come over, thinks he knows it all.
And then, yeah.
And there probably is some truth to that, but
still, they don't know rugby. Finish giving these people shit. I feel like on this note,
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
And on this very note, thank you again for listening to another GVO podcast, the Good Vibes Only podcast.
Good vibes only.
See you guys next week.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Happy days, mate.
Nice. I'm looking forward to this.
Cool, man. Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
No, I enjoyed that. That was good fun.
It was, what, hour and 40 minutes, eh?
That's
Very
right.
fast.